वांग में मनसि प्रतिष्ठितं मनो में वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् अभिरभिर्मयेधि वेदस्यमानिस्थं श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासिरणेनोदितेन अहोरात्रं समददामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु मम अवतु भक्तारम् ओम शांति शांति शांति. May my speech be one with my mind, and may my mind be one with my speech. O thou self-luminous Brahman, remove the veil of ignorance from me, so that I may behold thy light. Do thou reveal to me the spirit of the scriptures. May the truth of the scriptures be ever present to me. May I seek day and night to realize what I learned from the sages. May I speak the truth of Brahman. May I speak the truth. May it protect me. May it protect my teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Thoughts on the Gita, part 132. We are studying the Bhagavad Gita. And today's talk is 132. That means 5.5 days non-stop we have studied the Gita. Sometimes we wonder that these ancient scriptures, are they still relevant, applicable, effective in this modern age? This is the question. Ancient scriptures, Upanishads, Bible, Buddha's teachings, all these teachings, are they still relevant or not? That is the question. They are relevant. Why? Because they are the truth. Truth never old. Truth never changes. That is the beauty of truth. Truth never becomes old. Truth never changes. Truth is eternal. 2000 years ago, Christ said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." That is the gospel truth. Still they are very relevant. Blessed are the impure in heart, for they shall see God, will not work. Buddha said, hatred cannot be conquered by hatred. Hatred can be conquered only by love. That is the truth. And it never changes. Sri Ramakrishna says, Kamini Kanchani Maya, lust and gold, are the obstacles of God realization. Still, those teachings are very effective, very true. truth. Upanishad tells us, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. I am Brahman, you are also Brahman. That is the truth. And that truth never changes. I knew a Swami who was the librarian of our monastery. Every morning he would recite the entire Bhagavad Gita. He got by heart. I saw that he was dusting, cleaning his room, and reciting the Gita. Gita became the part of his life. Another Swami I knew, he read the Gospel of Ramakrishna 50 times and told his experience. That every time I read, I find something new. You know, one day I remember in our Vedanta class, I asked our teacher, Maharaj, some days we grasp, we understand very quickly, and some days we don't. Why? Some days, perhaps these words will penetrate inside you. Sometimes it may not. He said, it is the play of the gunas. When this mind is in Sattva guna calm, it will penetrate. Rajaguna restless, it will not go. Tamaguna, it will not reach at all. It is only how is your mind is playing on that particular day. Look at your meditation in the shrine. Some days you get good concentration, some days you don't. It is all the play of the gunas. In the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Listen, O Arjuna, I promise my devotee never perishes. I promise, God is promised to human beings that my devotee, those who love me, will never, never, never perish. My devotee never perishes. How can I be a devotee of God? Next question. In the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verses 13 to 19, only 7 verses, you read, memorize, and check yourself that whether those qualifications of a devotee are in you or not. You will see exactly that what are the signs of the true devotees. How to be a devotee of God? I want to be a devotee of God. As I always say, Gita is a book of life. When you are confused, when you cannot make any decision, read the Gita. Some Swamis experimented Gita in their own lives. Swami Turiyananda, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, was called Gitokto Yogi. Meaning the verses of the Gita he experimented in his life. Amazing that how this scripture can be applied and can be experienced in life. In the Vishnu Purana, we read about the life of Prahlada, a great devotee of Vishnu, Krishna. His father was Hiranyakashipu, who was a demon, very ruthless very egotistic, and he used to think that he is greater than God. I am greater than Vishnu, I am greater than Krishna. You people should pay homage to me. So his son was a great devotee of Krishna, Vishnu. He was sent to school. When he came back, his father asked, "Tell me what you have learned." He said that Vishnu is the greatest God. What? I am the greatest. He started to torture his son. First, he tried to change him, but he couldn't. He was so devoted to Krishna, and he was fearless. He only spoke the truth, what he experienced. Then he told his bodyguards, "Kill this boy. This sword cannot kill him." Then he said, "Throw some poisonous snake on him." The snake could not bite him. Then he says, "Put him under the feet of a mad elephant so that this little boy could be killed." The elephant could not kill him. Then he said, "Set fire and throw him into the fire." Fire could not burn him. "Tie this boy with a stone and throw him from the rock, from the hill into the ocean. Let him die and be drowned under the ocean." It was done, but the rock fell apart and he was floating. He was not killed. Then the king became amazed and marveled. "Where did you get this power?" "But it is my love for God. God protects me." It is the Vishnu Purana. I have the serial. I remember, till midnight I used to watch the serial, and I watched. It is a beautiful series. So he could not be killed. Why did you get this power? If God dwells in heart, he is endowed with this power. Oh, my Father, God dwells in my heart. He is indestructible. My Atman, God. Nobody can kill me. Then Narada gave a definition of bhakti, what is called devotion. That definition Swami Vivekananda used in his Bhakti Yoga in the beginning. He defined bhakti quoting Prahlada. Ya priti ravi bekanam visheshu anupayini tam manusmarata same hridayan mapa sarpatu. As we see the attachment for the worldly people, for worldly objects, may I have that attachment for God. And may God never go away from my heart. That is bhakti. As you remember, I think in the last class I mentioned, what is bhakti? What is love? Bhakti is a vritti, is a thought wave, comes from the Alladini Shakti of Brahman, Sat Chit Ananda. That Ananda aspect, from the Ananda aspect, a vritti, a thought wave comes, that is called bhakti. What does the bhakti do? What is the job of the bhakti? The job of the bhakti is to carry God into the heart of a devotee. Bhakti will carry God inside your heart. That is called bhakti. Not only that, what does bhakti do? He ties God in the heart so that God may not run away. That is called bhakti. Very amazing that you know how our bhakti scriptures, devotional scriptures talk about bhakti. God is bound in the heart of the devotees. And that he likes. And devotee, that then the real lila, lila between God and devotee start. Okay, that is my introduction. Next I shall go to the verses. Verse 56, chapter 18. Sarva karmani api sada kurbanu mad vyapashraya mat prasadat abapnuti shashvatam padam abhayam. Even doing all actions, always taking refuge in me, by my grace one attains to the eternal immutable state. This tells us mukti, liberation comes through action. Krishna is talking about it. Sarva karmani, all works, sada kurbano, doing all the time. Mad vyapashraya, taking refuge in me. Taking refuge in me, you work. All types of work. But don't think that it means I shall do all my bad work, immoral work. That is not God's work. Do you know why? If we have bad tendencies, bad qualities, bad habits, that mind will not go to God. When you are disciplined, when your mind is pure, when you have detachment, your mind will go to God. So this person has come to realize God. His mind is quiet, pure, and disciplined. So in that stage, whatever work he does good work, not immoral, bad work. Mad vyapashraya. And Krishna mentioned in previously, Vasudeva sarvamiti samatma durlabha sudurlabha. If a person says Krishna, God is my all in all, such a great soul is rare. Next he says, previously also he says, Mamanushmara yuddhacha. Think of me, then fight. He did not say first fight and then think of me. First think of me, then fight. I remember one of our monks used to tell us, Ramakrishna mission. First Ramakrishna, then mission. Not that first mission, then Ramakrishna. Then you will be confused. Mission means activities. Ramakrishna is God. God and his missions, his activities. So first if you bring activities, do you know what will happen? Perhaps you got success, you will be very proud. I did it. And as you know, in Kena Upanishad, the gods defeated the demons and proud that we defeated the demons. Later on, Brahma came out, appeared and said, you boys are thinking that you did it. No, with my power you won in the battle. Then he said, Mat prasadat abapnuti. It is by my grace. You will attain, you will achieve shashvatam padam abhayam. Eternal, immutable state. That the state means that God. So what we get from this verse? We realize God by the grace of God. One of our Swamis used to tell us, do you know what is kripa, grace, and self-effort? Self-effort and grace go together. If you move, God will move. If you lie down on your bed, God says He does not care for me, let him lie down. Scissors, 2 blades are necessary to cut the cloth. 1 blade cannot cut the cloth. Both are necessary. So self-effort and divine grace, both are necessary. Swami Turiyananda ji used to say We practice japa, meditation, prayer, all these things we do in the shrine. Do you know why? Just to tire the wings, that they do not work. What do you mean, Swami? You give instructions, practice japa and meditation, and you are telling me that they do not work. A monk went to the Himalayas and practicing austerity and wrote a letter to Holy Mother through a monk. Please ask Mother, when shall I attain God? Then Mother says, oh, practicing a little austerity is thinking that is enough to realize God. That is not the way. God realization comes by the grace of God. Sri Ramakrishna gave that parable, you remember. A police sergeant with a flashlight seeing the city. With that light we see each other. But if you want to see the police sergeant, you will have to pray to him. Please put that light on your face so that we can see you. That is the way it works. You will have to pray. If it's when you are humble, egoless, simple, pure, you will see God. Nahi yajnena danena tapasa anasakena tyageniki amritattvanusuhu. Or Upanishad tells us, na yajnena, yajna, sacrifice, rituals, danena, charity, tapasa, by practicing austerity. All these methods do not work. Tyagena, by renunciation alone, one can attain that supreme reality. Madhyapashraya. So, grace. This expansion of the ego by which we destroy the self-respect of other people is a dangerous ego. That expansion of the ego by which we encourage the people also and restore them to their own self-respect, that is the correct infinite expansion. He was talking about spiritual life. Expansion is life, contraction is death. Let us go to the next verse. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sannasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashrita matchitta satatam bhava. Resigning mentally all deeds unto me, having me as the highest goal, resorting to buddhi yoga, ever fix your mind on me. Chetasa sarva karmani. Chetasa means mentally, all work. Moi, in me. Sannyasa. Give all these actions on me, in me. Matpara, and think of me. I am the goal. Buddhi yogam upashrita. Buddhi yoga. Connect your buddhi and always think of me. Actually, some people say, Swami, only if I think of God all the time, what will happen? Or if try to practice it, see what will happen. All the time. Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful illustration. Here is a piece of iron rod. It has no magnetism, but by the friction with the magnet, this iron rod get the magnetic power. So thinking constantly about God, that God's power comes to you. your mind will be illumined. In the Chandogya Upanishad, Sanat Kumar told Narada, he said, Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smriti Smriti Lambe Sarva Grunthi Nam Vipramoksha. Sattva Shuddhau, when your mind becomes pure, Dhruva Smriti, Dhruva means that smriti, that memory will never go away. That memory never goes away, always remains. Constant recollectedness of God, that is the exact word. Constant recollectedness of God, if your mind is pure. Our scripture says, Buddhi Satpaksha Patini, Buddhi, intellect, always takes us towards the thing which is good, beneficent, uplifting, spiritual. Sattva Shuddha Dhruva Smriti. Smriti Lambe Sarva Grunthinam Vipramoksha. When you have that constant recollectedness of God, Vipramoksha, you will be illumined. You will get liberation. Even in Vedanta Sahara, Chetanananda Yogindra says, Aham Brahmasmi Tadyakarat Chitta Vritti Udeti. Constantly I am thinking, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Then the Chitta Vritti, the thought wave, will arise. Akhanda Karagarita, with the uninterrupted thought will come. I am Brahman. Conviction will come. Look at what Patanjali says. Uninterrupted thought of God. What happens? Mind becomes illuminated. If you sit near the fireplace, your body will be heated, your face will be lighted. We can see your lighted face. So those who think of God all the time, they become illuminated. Chetasa sarva karmani moi sanyasya. Yogastha guru karmani sangang taktva dhananjaya siddha siddho samabhutta samattam yoguchyate. Yogastha, you work immersed in yoga. What is yoga? Equanimity of the mind of the cause is yoga. Steadfastness, mind in happiness, misery always remains same. Sangha, sangang taktva. When you give up your ego and attachment for the result of action. Buddha sharanamanicha kripana phalatava. Take this kind of mind, Buddhist. Take the refuge in this kind of buddhi. Kripana phalatava. Those who seek the result of action, they are wretched. They are no good. Now, Sarva Karmani. We are working, all of us, we are working. Without work, we cannot survive in this world. Nahi kasyat kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, no human beings can live in this world without action. Physical action, mental action, all kinds of action. You will have to work. There is no other way. Now the question arises, whose work we are doing? Whose work we are doing? I remember I asked Swami Pavitranandaji, I said, Maharaj, he went to Swami Sharadananda and asked, I don't feel that I am working for Sri Ramakrishna. Then Pavitrananda, Swami Sharadananda said, is it your work in the monastery? I am working here. Is it my work? No. Do you work for your family? Your parents? No. Do you get here any salary? No. So these three things you are definite. This is not your work, you are not working for your family, and you are not getting any salary. That is true. Then you can go. Later you will understand for whom you are working. Really, we are working here for the Lord. I sometimes tell people, this place is a limb of Sri Ramakrishna. As the devotees give service, do you know what? They are working for the Lord. Very learned, very highly educated people, they give some service here. They are not working for the Swamis. They are working for the Lord. This place carries Ramakrishna's message. That I try to convince people. Then, do you know what that means? That is Buddhi Yogam. That means your Buddhi is connected with God. I am working for the Lord. I am cleaning. I am setting flowers in the chapel, in the shrine. It is I am working for God, not for the Swami. Are Swami may come, Swami may go, but Ramakrishna is the permanent resident here. Machitta satatang bhava. Satatam. It is a beautiful word, but constantly, always think of me. There is in Panchadoshi, there is a shloka. Ashupte amrite kalam nayad Vedanta chintaya kuchinnavasaram dattva atmanatmanam pashyet. Ashupte, till you go to sleep. Amrite, till you die. Kalam nayat, spend time. Vedanta chintaya. Think about Vedanta. I am Brahman. Till you go to sleep, till you die, think about it. Do not give any break. Then you will realize the Atman. You know, those verses are so beautiful. Beautiful verses. Shata. Buddhi Yogam. I remember there is a baul গান, আমি জলে নামবো, সাঁতার কাটবো, জল ছিটাবো, চুল ভিজাবো না. I shall jump into the water, I shall swim, I shall splash water all around, but I shall keep my hair dry. How to do it? How to do it? That is the question. That is Buddhi Yogam. You work without attachment. You work without seeking the result of action. You work without ego. The other day I was working on a mother's meditation book anyhow. Do you know what I wrote? The life story of a broomstick. I wrote, I am a broomstick, I clean Holy Mother's house, and her room, her courtyard, her veranda, and then the maid servant, after cleaning, threw away in the corner of the, neglecting and threw away into the corner of the courtyard. Mother saw me. Mother said to that maid servant, my goodness, that broomstick served us and you are so disrespectful. You must be respectful towards that broomstick. So broomstick says, just see, I am a nishkam karma yogi. I work without attachment. As a result, mother loves me. Funny. Even the broomstick claims that I am a karma yogi. I clean mother's house. Try to think this way. When you work, think that I am a broomstick. I clean this place. I work for the mother. I work for Sri Ramakrishna. That is the way we should feel, not with ego. Problem is in the ego. Even Krishna says, Name karmani limpanti, name karma phalispriya. Look, I am constantly working, but the karma cannot bind me. That technique we will have to learn from the Bhagavad Gita. Work, but work will not bind you. How to do it? That we find all many verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Why I am telling you that why this Gita is a very practical aspect of Vedanta philosophy. Shamatva buddhi. Shamatva buddhi is happiness, misery, virtue, vice, fear, fearlessness, profit, loss, all free from dualities, pairs of opposites. One should work with this kind of intellect. That is called yoga karmashu kaushalam. That is called skill in action. One commentator made a good remark. You drink water. If the water from the Mississippi River, we pump the water, that water straight will not be distributed, supplied to the homes. They purify it. After purification, they distribute that water. We are drinking water, Mississippi River, after purification. That is the secret. We shall do work, removing all impurities of the work. How to do it? That technique you will have to learn from the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga buddhi is a buddhi which is in tune with the divine, because just behind this buddhi is the Atman. Buddhi is nedishtam Brahma, nearest to Brahman. There is a crude human energy. Just imagine the one who is running the government today, tomorrow, or she joins the opposition and just start burning buses. He was talking about how people get deluded because their buddhi is not purified. Next verse. Machitta sarva durgani mat prasadat varishyasi atha chetvam ahankarat nasurashyasi vinakshasi. Fixing your mind on me, you shall by my grace overcome all obstacles. But if from self-conceit you will not hear me, you may perish. Nasurashyasi vinakshasi. Krishna is cautioning him, obey me, listen to me. If you don't, that will be a disaster. Mahati vinasti. There will be a great disaster will come to you. I know your past, present and future. I am telling you, I love you, so I am telling you what is good for you. Out of ego, you think I am a Pundit, I know more better than me, Krishna. No way. Machitta sarva durgani. Sarva durgani means all troubles, problems of life. By my grace, you will be able to transcend. You are seeing this war and fight and all the great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Karna are against you. No problem. Don't worry. Fight. Sarva Durgani, one commentator says, Maya, Unmoho, no, Kama, Krodha, Moho. These are the obstacles. Kam, lust, desire, Krodh, anger, Moho, delusion, confusion. These are the obstacles. By my grace, those things will not be able to be an obstacle for you. Athachetvam ahankarat, ahankar. I have full control. Those people fall in spiritual life. Too much ego. They do not listen. They do not want to obey. They fall. Shankara says, Tvam ahankarat, punjita aham. That's Shankara says. Oh, punjita means, panja means vedojjala buddhi. I am a great scholar, I am a great person, this and that. I am superior, I am expert. Mahati binasti. Mahati binasti means you will encounter birth and death again and again. Means you will be recycled. That is Mahati binasti. Unending. Human birth and death. One day Sri Ramakrishna told the devotees, do you know what? Those who are around me, Mahamaya does not touch them. Those who are under my umbrella, Mahamaya does not catch them. That is the reason we go to spiritual life. Mat prasadat. In the 7th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, Devi esha gunamayi mama maya durattaya mame bhaje prapadyante mame tam tarantite. My Maya is divine, Devi Maya, divine Maya. Gunamayi, full of 3 gunas. It is extremely difficult to cross, transcend. Those who take refuge in me, I help them to cross this turbulent ocean of Maya. I help them. So don't show ego. This is a warning Krishna gave to Arjuna. You have a fat ego which says, I am not going to follow these teachings. Well, it is up to you. You will be in trouble. You will get lost in life. Vinangshasi means you will get destroyed. If you do not do the right thing naturally, you will suffer. Next verse. Yat ahankaram ashrita na jotsa iti manyase mithrisha vavasayasti prakritistvam niyakshati. If filled with self-conceit, you think, I will not fight. Vain is this resolve of yours. Your prakriti will constrain you. Ahankaram ashrita. Ego, I shall not fight. Because in the very beginning he says, na jyotsei, I shall not fight. Shreyo bhiktum bhiksham apyo loke, I shall better lead a life as a mendicant. making food. That is it. Mithya vyavashayaste. This conviction is mithya, false. Do you know why? I know your nature. It is the nature will force you to fight. Momentarily, that Brahminical nature, I want to be a monk, came, but your below, you do not see your whole mind. I can see. You know, I remember one of our Vedanta teachers was telling me, all ordinary human beings, they function with 15 to 20% mind. It is just like iceberg. 80 to 85% minds are subconscious, not working. Those are illumined souls, their 100% mind works. Sri Ramakrishna's mind 100% works, not 99. Tremendous power. Mind has that power. So, a little ego on the surface, that is jumping. But you do not see the entire mind. I can see. Sri Ramakrishna says, Mithya ishe vyavashayaste. This kind of conviction to you is mithya, false. Mamata rup aborto, moho rup gorto. Mamata, attachment, is a whole. Moho is a whole. All human beings go there. It is in the Chanji. Gyaninam api chetangshi devi bhagavati hisa balata krishya mohat mahamaya prajachati. There are some Gyani, very advanced souls. Even if the ego develops in that mind, Mahamaya, the Divine Mother, delude their minds and throw him into the bottom. They fall. They stumble. Their growth stops. They cannot make the goal. The Mahamaya's play very difficult to understand. It is when we read that verse, Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what is good, but I have no desire to do it. Janami adharmam nacha nivrittihi. I know what is adharma, bad, but I cannot stop myself to do it. Tvaya rishikesha ridhistitena yatha nijuktosmi tatha karumi. Oh Lord Krishna, sitting in my heart, whatever way you will direct me, I shall go to that direction. Sometimes human beings are helpless. Helpless. You may be a great scholar, great writer, great monk. Sometimes we are helpless. Yadi ahankaramashita na jyotseti mannasi mithya ishe vyavashayaste. Your prakriti, your nature will force you to do it. Next verse. Samavajena kuntiya nibhaddasvino karmana kortum netsyasi yat mahamohat kurishyasi avashopita. Fettered, O son of Kunti, by your own karma, born of your own nature, what you, from delusion, desire not to do, you shall have to do it in spite of yourself. Abashopi, that is one commentator made a very good remark. Obviously, when somebody forced you to do it, when holding your neck, he will force you, go, do it. You are helpless. Temporarily, we find in Arjuna's mind was submerged with moha and fear, delusion and fear. These two things, this hero's mind pressed it down and playing on the surface. Moha and fear. So he cannot make any decision. That is the reason he asked Krishna, Shishyasteam sadhimam tam prapannam. I am your disciple, please teach me. Then Gita started. Krishna says, the feeling you have now, it is momentary. It is not your nature. I know your nature. You are a kshatriya. You will have to fight. Let me give an example. Here is a copper jewelry. Over that, gold color. Gold. We put gold. Or gold color. The moment you put into the fire, the gold will melt, only copper will remain. So I know your mind. Apparently on the top, a little bit Brahminical color, I want to be spiritual, I want to be a monk. But in the acting field, when you come into the battlefield, you think that will melt your kshatriya nature. You're fighting the tej, rajas, that will come up. That is a good way to understand. That when you go to in the truth in the battlefield, then we know. You see, a person, spiritual or not, how to test. Test is the temptation. If you are overcome the temptation, then you are a real holy person. And if you yield to temptation, you are gone. Temptation, test. Test me. That is the reason Sri Ramakrishna was asking his disciple, test me. And a money changer changes the coin, whether it is a fake coin or not. That is the way. Test me. Test me. Whether I am genuine teacher or not. You know, when you reach Sri Ramakrishna's life, you will see testing is very important. And then he says, see a holy man at daytime and night time, then trust him. Then believe in him. Kurishami aboshopitat. Do you know what happened? Now the question arises. Are we helpless? Prakriti is now forcing us. Do we have not any power to do ourselves to protect? Read the last two verses of the 3rd chapter of the Gita. There Krishna mentioned sense organs is higher than the body. Mind is higher than the senses. Buddhi, intellect is higher than the mind. Atman is higher than the intellect. Then he says, do you know what? Atma Sreshta. She Shatik Buddhi the Atma. About that pure intellect, you know, you experience the self. And with that self, you control, you subdue the restlessness of the mind. At that time, Johishatru Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasadam. Then you can kill your enemy. Lust, anger, and greed. They are all three enemies that Krishna said. We have some freedom, no doubt about it. That freedom we experience when the intellect is pure. Buddhi yogam, samatva buddhi. With that way, you can change your life. You know, I see some people come in spiritual life in little advanced age. It is not the age. It depends upon intensity. What is the speed of your car? If you 10 miles, 20 miles speed in the freeway, they will throw you out. Not less than 40 miles. Then some 70 miles, 80 miles speed, they drive the car. It depends upon your speed, what speed you want to exert yourself. You know, some people, dilly-jally, nally-nally, lazy bums, they cannot make progress. It will not work. So we have some freedom. Ishvaro sarvabhutanam riddhasi arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. This is a famous verse of the Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Lord Arjuna dwells in the hearts of all beings, causing all beings by his maya to revolve, as if mounted on a machine. It is so vivid, we can see merry-go-round. If you see in some park or some, what is called caravan, there we see the children, one child is seated on a lion or a horse or an elephant, or all some symbols are there, children are seated, they are holding, and this man rotates, merry-go-round. We see it. When the round is over, then he takes the people out. I remember once I went to Austria, Vienna. So on the bank of the Danube River, there is that Ferris wheel. In one bench, I think 6 or 8 people can sit. In this way, many benches, very high. So they are rotating. And you can see the beautiful view and the countryside and the river. And then when the rotation is over, you come out. Then new batch will go. Constantly new batch is coming and going. Merry-go-round. But you have no control. The man who is moving, revolving that Ferris wheel, he has the control. That Krishna says, Ishvaro sarvabhutanam riddhasi arjuna tishtati. God dwells in the heart. That is sure and certain. Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Our Upanishad tells it again and again. Why are you going in search of God? It is within you. Riddhasi Arjuna, please riddhasi, hridaya, in the heart. There is a many, I was asking one Swami, very learned monk. I said, Maharaj, why do they call it heart? Then he said, you know, God is everywhere. It is in the table chair, Brahman is everywhere. But it is just to point out that concentrate here. That is the reason the Upanishad tells us in the heart. It does not say concentrate there and other places. And moreover, it is within, not outside. That is, you see, that is the reason Swamiji gave 2 lectures in Jnana Yoga. Microcosm, macrocosm. What is inside this universe, that is outside. What is outside, that is inside. The space which is within this small picture and the vast cosmic space, as a space, both are the same. So if you know this space, little space, you know all cosmic space. If you know God within you, you know God everywhere. That is the way Vedanta works. Eko vijnane sarva vijnanam bhavati iti, knowing which everything can be known. You know one, you know everything. Ramakrishna says, When you see whether rice is cooked or not, you press one particular price. If it is soft, the entire rice in the cooking pot are soft. You will not have to press all rice. That is a beautiful example. You who know you, what is God within you, you know God in everywhere. Krishna darshan par Krishna darshan. When you have the vision of Krishna, you will see Krishna everywhere. Brahmayan sarvabhutani, Brahmayan. That is a good word. We are all confused, rotating, merry-go-round. In the Upanishad, there is another mantra, is there. Tat srishtva tadevanu pravishat. He created and entered everywhere. The Brahman, Atman. Another mantra is there. Deho devalayo prokto sajivo kevala shivo. This deho, body, is the temple, tabernacle of God. And God dwells in all human beings. Amazing, all these mantras we read in our Upanishad. Indra Mayabhi Pururupa Yati. God has become many. Why is Ajmeke? I want to play. I am alone, I am lonely, I am bored, I want my children should play with me. You are a very rich man, you have billions and billions of dollars, fancy home. What? You will be bored. If many people come to your home and make fun and festival, then life becomes meaningful. Otherwise, alone, 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 lonely. Tamiva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat parang shantim sthanam prapshashi shashvatam. This verse also very famous. Take refuge in me alone with all your heart, O Bharata. By His grace you shall attain supreme peace and the eternal abode. Sharanagati. My time is over. I shall take this verse next time. It has, there are many things to talk about it. Tameva sharanam gaccha. Take refuge in Him. Sarva bhavena bharata. Wholeheartedly. Tatprasadat param. By His grace. Krishna is talking again and again, grace, grace, grace. Those who are pure, truthful, sincere, grace dawns on them. Grace comes. If you make an effort, somebody will come and help you. Look, one day Sri Ramakrishna told him, he was seated in the veranda of Nahabad. একটু কিছু করলেই একজন এসে বলে দেবে এরপর এই করো. If you do a little thing, a spiritual thing in your life, then somebody will come forward and tell you, do this next, do this next, do this next. You will have to move. If you lie down, your fortune will lie down with you. Sit, fortune will sit. Stand, fortune will stand. Move on, fortune will move on. You will have to move on. Sharai Beti. That is the mantra of the Vedas, Rig Veda. So anyhow, we shall talk about it next classes. Let me see if by December we can finish this Gita or not. We shall try. But anyhow, it is a delightful, it is wonderful scriptures. I sometimes when I give interview, I always ask people, morning Gita, evening Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Why? You need holy company. Otherwise you will be bored. Break your boredom. In the morning if you read Gita, you will think about life. what I am supposed to do. And in the gospel, in the right time, you will get holy company of Sri Ramakrishna. You will not have to go to a Swami. Matma me shuddhantam jyotiraham virajami papma bhuyasam. Antaratma me shuddhantam jyotiraham virajami papma bhuyasam. Paramatma me shuddhantam jyotiraham virajami papma bhuyasam. May my body become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my soul become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be full.